Paranormal in Pennsylvania may discuss topics such as suicide, murder, and other potentially upsetting things. Listener discretion is advised. Before we get into this week's episode of Paranormal in Pennsylvania, we wanted to tell you about a new podcast, the Read It and Screech. Your loud friends, Grace and Ava, dissect and scandalously summarize the most tantalizing and titillating plots in the world of adult literature. With their sharp wit and infectious laughter, they'll guide you through the raunchiest tales, uncovering the plot twists, sizzling scenes, and cringeworthy dialogue you won't want to miss. It's a roller coaster of emotions served with a side of laughter. So come sit with these book-loving banshees while they give cliff notes and cringy quotes and go screeching all the way. Now streaming on all podcast platforms. Go check them out. Hello, and welcome to Paranormal in Pennsylvania,
where we discuss history and haunts.
Today we have some very exciting guests. They are Siktastik Films. Go ahead and tell us a bit about you guys.
Okay, well, I'm Ryan. This is my brother Ron. We're from Siktastik Films. We got a movie, The Carver House, about to come out next month. Actually, on this day at the Oak Theater in Oakmont. Hoping to see everyone out there. Go to www.siktastik, which is siktasik.com. It's kind of funny saying it.
Siktastik.com. October 18th is the premiere party, Oaks Theater in Oakmont, PA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll link it so people can click on it. But tell us a bit about the film. David and I watched the trailer, and it looks cool.
Yeah, so the film is basically filmed all around Pittsburgh. We started like a fictitious company from Youngstown Ghost Hunters from Ohio. They're supposed to be a group that travels into Pittsburgh because they learn about all these haunted locations in Pittsburgh, which includes Bain Library,
Dixmont State Hospital,
and then the Carver House. And the Carver House is, of course, our
own town, that we made up for the movie.
Yeah.
In Brookstown.
Yeah, in Brookstown, do you want to tell about Brookstown?
So if you are familiar with Ed Wood, filmmaker, Conrad Brooks is most of his films. I did a lot of work with Conrad Brooks up until his death, and basically a tribute to him. That's why we made Brookstown, named after him, from Conrad Brooks. So that's how we got to Brookstown. It was kind of like a nod to him for helping me out. He's like my mentor for years.
So that's really cool. Yeah. And you said you were actually able to film at some of these haunted locations. So tell us a bit about that.
So of all things, the one location, which is Dixmont State Hospital, how that works out is my former landlord owned all of that property. He even owned it when the asylum was still up. He has pictures. He used to tell me about it all the time. He used to have all these photographers that would go in and out there, and he had to have full-time security to keep people from going in there. Like, I even knew that guy, Butchie. Yeah, so the piece of the property, 500 Huntington Avenue, which I believe I sent to you guys to show you like where it was, that's still there. Like, and if you, I had access to the building because he was my landlord, So we were literally able to film part of it right there. And we filmed part of it at Bain Library, too. Which is, it also, there's websites about how haunted it is.
Yeah,
I heard about it.
It was like Mary or something, that she was the daughter of the house, and there's all kinds of haunting stories about people seeing her, and like books getting knocked over, and lights being on in the middle of the night, and all kinds of,
Yeah, there's websites. We've heard about it all lives because it's in Bellevue, and that's where we're from, so.
Yeah, nice.
Sure.
So where can people find you and follow you?
Siktastik on Instagram.
Yeah.
We have a I wouldn't say MySpace. Facebook.
Yeah.
And mine's, at Mystery412 with a Z, Mystery with a Z, But we'll include it in the details.
Yeah, I'll be in it.
Yep,
and you guys should make a MySpace. Just to throw back.
We're dating ourselves. But, okay, so everybody go check it out. The trailer looks super cool. I'm excited to see it. We are planning to attend the premiere, so if any listeners attend, we'll be there. They'll be there. It sounds like it's going to be a good time. Anything else that you wanted to tell our listeners about you guys?
I mean, I would just say that this is our first film. I mean, so it's like kind of like, this is our first full-length film. We've made a couple, everyone starts out, and then we eventually made, this is our first, where we actually casted real actors. We didn't just use all of our friends. Some people we were familiar with in different aspects, but a lot of the cast was all original, like people we literally had casting auditions. We had like 3 different auditions. We literally put this together like on a no budget. You know, Ryan directed the movie, and I was like considered the executive producer, and just we did it ourselves. And from here, we're just looking to take it to the next, on to the next one. You know.
Yeah, very cool. Support local, creators. I love it.
I don't know if you guys ever heard of Bump in the Night Society. They're a group from Pittsburgh, and that's what they do. They actually seek out locations, and they have all the equipment and the gear. So we were kind of familiar with the guy that runs it before the movie project. So he was like our ghost consultant, because the building we filmed in was haunted as could be. Like it was. We had a couple tarot readers out there, and they were just like, the energy here is awful. Like, they just wanted to get out of that building. So yeah, I don't know. But the Bump and Night Society, that's what they do. So I'm sure they would love to go to that place.
I just wanted to say, a movie about a haunted location, you film it in a haunted location, So we definitely got a lot of weird things happen during the set of the Carver house on different locations we were at.
And then the building burned to the ground when we were done filming.
Yes.
It is not a parking lot.
Did it really?
It really did. It's
Can't pick it up.
It burned to the ground. Like, it was a 4-story building, side by side. Like it was, I don't know how many square footage or whatever, probably 10, 20,000, I don't know what it was, but gone. Like, literally a parking lot now. We can't, obviously, it was devastating for us because we didn't even finish editing. Like, and not to be selfish, but like, say, like, the ideas of talking about like a sequel, like, it would have been perfect to already have this location already gone. Like, and as we were filming, there was like toys going off, making noises, and you'd hear something start playing. Like, it was wild. Like, me personally, like, I've never felt like I've seen a ghost like myself, and I had a friend that I think that had that sort of energy they connect with. But being in that building, I've never been around anything.
Yeah,
like that.
It definitely had an odd vibe though. Like, you feel like you said, like people watching you, stuff like that, toys going off for no reason. Other weird lights coming out of weird places. It was very.
Yeah, lights would turn on and off. It was just very bizarre. Very bizarre.
Very spooky.
Yeah. And was it a private residence?
No, so it was actually a business. If you look up on Google, if you look up Blue Violet Cafe, it was the building that was Blue Violet Cafe, and it was Pickles Antique Jar. So it was those 2 buildings side by side that we had access to, and the owner owned both buildings. But the Pickles Antiques was basically like this lady that I'll use the word collects everything, like everything, from stuffed animals, toys. Yeah. There was one room that was just filled with wedding dresses. Like,
oh wow,
they're not being sold.
There's some like really weird paintings hanging up around there too. Like, really like wicked looking paintings. Like,
there was these steps that went up, and you could see them in the first trailer, not in the second one, but you'll see Harvey Carver coming down these giant steps. Well, on top of that was this old speakeasy. And apparently, like, the 3 Stooges used to go there, and it was like a private speakeasy. But this place was completely full of bicycles.
Yeah.
Like, there was probably 1,000 of them. It was just crazy.
No exaggerating, like, yeah.
Yeah, no exaggeration. It was just crazy.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, there was
so crazy.
And the one tarot reader that was there, she was like, Ron, she's telling me, she's like, you just don't understand all the energy that's attached to all this stuff, and that's why we're going through so much. Yeah, like, we had a couple little injuries. We had a couple odd things that happened. And Ryan had a whole story about driving home one time, and it just...
I was driving home one night, and I could hear a voice talking like behind me in my back seat, and it just like... I had to pull over, and like I had to say like a prayer thing, because I mean, this thing was like talking to me. And it was other nights, like before this had happened, as soon as I get home, my dog would just go nuts. Like, she'd be running around the room, just bark, 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 like going totally crazy. And I was barely sleeping at the time, maybe like an hour a night, just because I could sleep with my dog all wound up and stuff like that. And I couldn't figure out what was going on, and I think that's what it was, an attachment on me a little bit.
That is so crazy. I didn't know that that it was actually that haunted. So, okay. Blue Violet Cafe. It's in Rochester, PA, just to give some background for people listening. And it burned down last August, and it doesn't say what the cause of the fire was. They don't know?
Yeah, it was a lot.
So what else happens then? It sounds like there's so much crazy stuff.
I actually had this idea. I wanted to get some of the cast members that like had different like stories. Like the one girl was doing a sage on us every night, and just try to get different perspective, like what they felt they were going through or whatever. Because a lot of people said there's like a lot of weird things that were happening during the filming of the Carver house. So it's kind of
There was a cauldron there on the second floor, and like the one guy had tripped over it and split like his like eye, and just a couple like. So the one that we were filming, we went in there in the evening, and everyone was kind of hesitant to begin with. There was no heat in the building either, and it was starting to get cold when we were filming to begin with. So as we're filming, we're the only people in the building. I actually had the key to the building. Like we would go in at night, and there was no one there. All of a sudden, you're boom, 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 boom. Like you know, I'm looking up, and you know, because like I said, I'm a what they call it a skeptic. Like I don't really, I'm like well, you know,
Right.
But it's like to the point I'm like, I can't explain this. I'm telling the cast that was there and a couple of crew members. I'm like, I was like, I'll run upstairs and check real quick. I'm like scared shitless, like running upstairs and check by myself.
Yeah.
But I'm like the biggest guy there, so I gotta go. You know what I mean? Like I go up and I'm looking around and it's just like nothing. And like it was just like, and then when I came back down, our Dawn Laurie, who's in the movie, she plays the Pearl Chafee, like the lead witch. Or she was like, Ron, we've got to get out of here. Like this is bad. She kept saying this is all negative energy. Like you know, and to them, like I think we had 2 or 3 people of the cast that were like into tarot and stuff. And Dawn's she's way beyond tarot. She has all kinds of she does like readings for people, and you know, it was surprising how many people just were uncomfortable there, you know, and then it burns up.
Yeah, that's crazy that they don't know the cause of the fire.
No.
Yeah, I just looked it up. It's still under investigation. There is a working theory that it started in an apartment unit and then spread from there and then spread else, you know, everywhere.
You say an apartment?
Yeah, so here to read exactly what it says. The fire's cause is still under investigation, but emergency responders believed it started in an apartment unit and spread to the pickle jar antique shop next door, the former Blue Violet Cafe site.
So what's creepy about that is there were no active apartments there. There were rooms, like there was like, that's what made this place so great. There's 12 like open rooms, but there was no one living in them. Like, you know, like we were there. Like, I'm talking about while we were filming, we were there. You know, this was months later that all of a sudden I get the phone call and it's just, you know, it's all over.
Yeah, it was
the
like bad for us because like I said, we had plans. We were talking about doing a sequel there and stuff like that, and it's gone. I mean,
yeah, we felt bad for Helena too.
The lady, I don't know, she just lost everything too. Just
Right. Oh my gosh, because all the items in the shop.
Yeah, she
Right.
had $1 million worth of stuff there. Just,
not exaggerating.
if you could get $1 for everything that was there, she was a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Wow. And so I'm interested because in the trailer for the Carver house, it looks like there's some sort of seance that happens. Was that in this location?
Yes, and that was a creepy night. Like, that's what we were talking about, like the toys going off and stuff. Like, it was like a whole other side of the room. You just heard these like old like 80s toys like talking and stuff like that.
Yeah, like the string was pulled, but no one pulled it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Like the record player would just turn, like the
I
light
had
would
this
turn
very
on.
odd song that was playing on there too. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
It's called. But
And then here we got this idea to use the record player in a scene.
it was like a wind-up one. Yeah.
And then I'm like, Helena, where'd the record player go? She's like, oh, I sold it yesterday. I'm like,
we were gonna use it
No.
too.
yeah, like, but yeah, the paintings there. I mean, they were like you couldn't find these anywhere. Like I don't know where she got a lot of this stuff.
Right.
I think she's been in this collection business for many years. You know.
And also one night we were all outside, we're getting ready to leave, and all the way to the top floor you could see a light on.
Mhm.
Now all of a sudden, when we had to go back in, the light was off when we got on top, which was odd.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh, that is freaky.
It was like a weird thing, yeah.
If you could see the building too, like it was like when you went upstairs, and like I said, there's no heat, so even in the summer it's like kind of cold, you know, like at night and stuff. We had taped out the windows so that there was no natural light coming through, so we wanted to be able to control the lighting, you know. So it's
Sure.
Yeah, like once it got even dusk, we were in the pitch dark, like at the mercy of like a cord, and sometimes they would just stop working. We'd have to rerun the wire to somewhere else, and it was a lot going on. And the fact that it was a speakeasy too, it's like God knows like what used to go on there and the fun that people had, and just all that like old energy, and it's just gone.
Yeah. It definitely adds to filming a horror movie when you're having these real things.
We filmed on 3 real haunted locations. Yeah. We filmed on Bain Library. Like, we were literally right on the grounds of Bain Library. That scene in the new trailer where the guy's talking about it's been 10 years, that was at Bain Library. When the doctor's talking, that is the Dixmont State Hospital property.
Okay.
And then we were at the Antique Spiegel Jar, which was completely haunted. That might have been the most haunted one out of all of them.
Yeah, did anything else happen at any of the other locations?
So we were at with the 500 Huntington, and we took a walk around the upper level where there was like the one dude from Bob and the Night said it looked like a cafeteria. He pulled out EVP. He's like trying to get sound. He's like, something ain't right about this place, but he couldn't pick nothing up. But he did try, you know.
There is a cemetery on the property.
And it's like an old cemetery. It's like hidden off in the back.
Yeah, and like little tombstones, little headstones and stuff. It's something wild. Yeah, like you wouldn't want to stand where the cemetery is at night. You know, it wouldn't feel right.
Right. Especially with a building that's kind of crumbling down anyways and has like a colored history. Just don't want to be there at night with haunted places.
Matter of fact, so Walmart had bought that property from our landlord. And they sent a surveyor in, and they purchased the property. When Walmart went to build, and you could look this story up too on 65. I don't remember exactly what year this was, but here the whole ground had collapsed right across the High River Boulevard. So literally, Boulevard is like a main road. So Walmart had to pay my landlord again to take all the dirt and move it to behind the property line that they had purchased from. But this is like millions of dollars that they paid him. Now they got to pay him again to move dirt. But the grounds did not allow Walmart to build. They literally collapsed it. Whatever they were doing. So I don't know. Is that something? I don't know.
Well, yeah. When we covered Dixmont, it was interesting because the local legend says that they don't want anyone else to build there because apparently Walmart's not the first people to try to buy it. I guess other corporations did, and something really significant always seems to happen, like the ground falling, etc. So it definitely sounds like it's freaky there. But it's interesting that, has your landlord ever had any issues with it?
You know what? Like I said, my office used to be there, so the building at night is terrifying. It's like one of those, you can look far down one way, it's all dark as can be. You can look as far as you can see the one way. There's one light bulb that looks like it's about to burn out any second, in the middle. But no, I never had any issues there or nothing. But like I said, I'm one of those people where I'm a skeptic, and I don't really. But maybe if I took someone there that did believe in stuff, they'd probably run out the door. I don't know.
Yeah.
There are some downsides of being the skeptic. Like when you went to go investigate that, the pounding or the sound that you were hearing, it's like, okay, so if I don't believe it's a ghost, then it's a large animal, a person, or it could be something that just fell. But either way, it's still not the greatest of options.
It sounds like it was being dragged across the floor back and forth. It was definitely. I never thought it was a person, and that's I never thought it was a person, and I didn't think it was an animal. I didn't know what the hell it was. But then when I went upstairs, nothing made sense because I'm looking around and it's dark. There's no lights on upstairs. So it's like I said, we had taped out the windows. So my light's my cell phone, and I think I probably had one of the production lights with us. Or whatever.
Yeah, little flashlights.
Yeah, but I have to calm the rest of everyone downstairs down too, because they want to hear what is it.
Yeah, well, then we're sitting outside of there. I'm not going in right now.
Yeah, we had a couple of refuse. Yeah, we had to wait.
I'm not going in right now. No.
And the one girl, Dana, she was he said, she was saging people on the way in and out. It was quite the production, It really was
quite intense when you think of everything we had to go through to get.
So you didn't even see any item that you could even attribute the sound to?
No, and like I said, and I'm like, yeah, just no. Just I looked around, like, what the hell's going on? Like, I'm like, we gotta get out of here. Like, yeah, and it was, and it's funny because like with the script, it's like it's about these witches that are living in this building, and they're supposed to be masquerading as tarot readers, but they're witches, and they're actually we're doing the scene. You got some people saging, some people scared out of their mind, other people, and. Yeah, it was it was just a lot to go through, I guess. Now, it's what I never talked about it. It's funny because it's like the first time, like
I think this is the first time we were actually open talking about this.
Yeah,
we've never we've talked a little bit about, but we've never discussed it. Like generally talked about people.
Yeah, so.
Right. When you think of it all, when you look at it all together, it's like, wow, it's a lot of things that happened. And so you said that you had tarot readers come in, but that some people on the cast were also interested.
There were cast members. Yeah. It was weird how it worked out like that. So we casted Mike Ankis. Mike Ankis is go ahead.
We're from Day of the Dead.
Yeah, he's in Day of the Dead, George Romero film. He was part of it. Now, so in real life, he's a doctor, and we casted him as a doctor. At first, we were going to cast him as a sheriff, but then it got switched around. But then when we casted Dawn Laurie, she was actually a real tarot reader, and she's a psychic, and so we didn't know that oh wow, this will fit so perfectly together, and this ended up, it just brought that much more to it because it's probably stuff we didn't even understand.
Right.
Yeah. And so does she do tarot readings in the film then? That's cool that she has the background as well.
Yeah. But it's funny though, and just because when we were filming, I was talking to Dawn about, because when we were doing the scene with Jules, Jules, what's it called? She did Speaking in Tongues.
Oh, that was
And Dawn came over and was to us and was like, Ron, we can't have her speaking in tongues in this building. She's like, are you crazy? Oh my God.
We go back after all that scene was done. Her hotel had nothing but spiders everywhere.
The girl was speaking in tongues.
Speaking in tongues.
Yeah. And a room with they were seeping water on the floor and stuff, and spiders everywhere. This is Motel 6, by the way. That was crazy too. So yeah, there was just a lot of. And like I said, we'll happily line up some interviews with the cast so you can get them on too. They'll tell you.
Yeah, that's crazy that it followed multiple people back after shooting. Did anyone else, other than you having it feeling it in your car and her at the hotel room, did anyone else had any experiences once they left set for the day?
Dawn had issues. Yeah. Oh, Jules too. So the girl Jules, Juliana Mistovich.
Yeah.
Juliana Mistovich was having severe headaches. To the point where she had to leave for a couple of days to go to the hospital. She was having, and she's another girl. I think she has some sort of spiritual connections with things too. It seemed to attack those people the most. With Ryan, he's into ghost hunting and stuff. He goes up to Gettysburg and things like that.
I got to do all that fun stuff.
And we've been going to those horror conventions since the early 2000s, meeting Robert Englund and Kane Hodder and all those people. But so he's been into this world for a very long time. Well, since he was a kid, basically. And then with the other cast members, it seemed like the ones that were that opened up their mind to that stuff, whatever that is, it targeted them. And then the ones that weren't really didn't I guess someone like me, it seemed they left me alone.
Right.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's not targeting the skeptics.
Yeah,
right.
Follow them.
Well, when it followed, so it bothered a couple people for a period of time after, but how, did it go through the night? Or I know for your car instance, it seemed to only be in the car for a while.
Yeah, it's after that night, it was kind of it for me, but I felt something was off me after that. It was a weird feeling. I didn't want to talk about it. Didn't tell anyone really about it at all. I don't know what it was. It was something though, because I was with myself for a while.
Did they say what it was before it was the antique shop and the cafe?
Well, it used to be a speakeasy. The other side used to be
okay.
Blue Violet Cafe.
It was only the Blue Violet Cafe for probably well, so many years. I don't know how many, but before then, who knows? Because the buildings were side by side and they were intersected. Like in the middle of the building, there was just a trap door or like a regular door, whatever you want to call it. And you could go and you had access to both buildings. But it was the Blue Violet that had the speakeasy, technically, like where the, you know, like, yeah, we were up on the 3rd floor of, we were up on the 3rd floor of the Pickles Antique Shop where most of it was filmed. We did go over to the speakeasy. Like we wanted to film some stuff in the speakeasy, but it was the 1,000 bikes. We couldn't.
Yeah, there's no work.
You know,
we moved it all out. So
yeah, it took us the whole day to get like one scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other crazy experiences while filming?
Anything for you?
I mean, I shared most of my fun stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, because like obviously, like I said, I know different cast members dealt with different things. It was dealing with them too, like because they're going through things. Like for example, like when Juliana Mistovich, when she didn't feel well, like we had to wait. Like we literally had to, calm her, like rearrange the way we're filming things, which was, this is our first movie that we're doing. And we're trying to reschedule things on the fly and make sure that everything still lines up. So, like, for any, like, independent filmmakers out there, like, I would say that be prepared for anything and everything to happen, because it will.
Yeah, especially when you film in a haunted location. That's so crazy.
Yeah. It's going to happen regardless, except we chose to do a paranormal movie with paranormal people, and,
we got the results.
Yeah, we got the results. Yeah.
It feels like Murphy's Law is just absolutely a day-to-day occurrence once you're filming a horror in a spooky location. Like, yeah, it's gonna happen.
I keep trying to think of anything else. I know I fell one time and split something. I split my eye. Right? Yeah, my eye. I fell over the cauldron. The one, but it was because of the no light thing. The one dude, like, what happened was the window was like I said, we had these like black sheets over them, and the one was pinned over, and then here, not even thinking, it had fell, like, it wasn't being held anymore, so it was pitch black, and I went to walk towards it because I kind of knew where to go, but like just subconsciously, this cauldron was upside down, so like it was like, so when I walked, my like shin hit right off it. I just fell like right forward, and I'm like falling forward in the pitch black, and I just put my hand out, like, boom, like, and I felt it like smash my face, and I was like, and I could feel like I went like this. I felt like blood right away, and I don't think I bled before then years, you know what I mean? Like, but like I had to go downstairs. I'm like holding my eye, got like Band-Aid on, yeah. So that was weird too. So yeah, that happened too. Busted my eye like filming, but like so like the way I look at it is like it was a mistake, I guess. Like I said, it was. The window kind of fell. I went to get it again, and the cauldron happened to be the goddamn cauldron of all things is right there. This thing looks like it was from like 1880 too. It's like literally like it was probably like 100 pounds. But I flip over the thing, Oh man. Yeah. So
and you said someone else fell over the cauldron too, right?
We were fair share of stuff happened for sure. Like,
I think it was Dana or Sam. One of them tripped by something. I heard about grabbing her real quick. Otherwise, they would have fell down the flight of steps.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that
like that type of stuff.
Yeah. The Carver house, October 18th.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be interesting to watch it, because I wonder, I'm sure you guys would know, but I'm wondering if anything is happening in the background that you didn't do,
Ooh.
Like because you said like toys would be doing stuff. It's like, I wonder if in the back of a shot, it's like something moving.
Well, the scene I was telling you about where I could hear something being dragged across, you can hear us on the audio. Like, obviously it's not in the movie because it was cut out, but you can hear us having a conversation about, like, because we had the what's it called, the boom running, So, and you could actually hear us like, what the hell is that? And people are like, and you can hear like, but it's like we're a few feet away from it, but you can still hear what we're saying to each other. And I was like, I'll go check it out. Like, it's nothing. Meanwhile, I'm walking upstairs and oh my god, like, I was ready to go upstairs and see like Dracula standing there, like, I didn't know what.
You're like, hey, just run downstairs and stand in front of the camera real quick.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, you want a parents real quick in the Carver house? Yeah.
It's like we're here to film a horror movie, not actually be the horror movie.
Not live
Right.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we want to be able to live to film our next one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that is so interesting. I can't wait to see the movie. October 18th, The Carver House. And there's 2 trailers out. So anybody listening, go check them out. Get excited. Just in time for Halloween. It's coming out. Thank you guys so much for sharing your stories with us. I had no clue that you had such a haunting filming experience.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, like he said earlier, we were actually joking around talking about making a documentary, like surviving the making of the Carver House. Like it was, you know, it was a lot, you know. But the sequel,
oh my gosh,
Witches of Brookstown, that'll be next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're going right back. We're not afraid.
Yeah, we're jumping right back into this.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So you definitely plan on a sequel then?
Yes.
Witches of Brookstown.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, well, thank you everyone for listening and tuning in this week. Go check them out. We'll link them in the description and tune in next Thursday to see what we discuss next.